Welcome back to West Texas View.
Before the break, you met Leanna Good, who is in the development office at the University of Texas Permian Basin, and the executive director of the development office. And she has a long history. And so when she came back home and went to work for UTPB, one of the things she noticed and talked about in the first was how this campus just sprung to life in her absence. And one of the things that we were so proud of as we stayed home and watched it grow was that there was a real sturdiness to the campus. The architecture is buildings that look like they've been there forever, and that they're part of the landscape, and so they're not going anywhere. And so we've always said even a hurricane or a tornado couldn't blow them down. And so.
Oh, well, let's not let them try. I mean, I think those of us who grew up in this desert landscape really appreciate the beauty and the hardiness and the sturdiness and the longevity. You know, the people who have lived here and made West Texas home, you know, understand that there's something about the spirit here that draws you back and makes you want to stay.
Yes.
So. And the fact that, you know, we do have so many risk takers and people, who would have thought 40 years ago that we could have a 4-year university here in West Texas that would serve so many people, and to be grown to this level. The clubs that we have on campus now, the sports that we have, the fact that we're working on bringing Division II football to campus, you know, that's amazing. And it's taken visionary, as you said, presidents, college deans, professors, students, alumni, and donors, which are very near and dear to my heart. When, you know, you talk to people about why they might want to give, it might be because they just want to make our community a better place to be. And they've been so generous over the years and continue to be.
And when you talk about touching their hearts, everybody has a sweet spot of something that they would like to promote or to enlarge or to enhance. And so there's so many ways, from just little tiny small scholarships to naming a building.
Absolutely.
And so there's just absolutely no limit to what somebody can do. And I can remember one time a person came to a community college where I was an administrator and said to us, "I have always wanted this particular program, and I am willing to fund the whole program, including the faculty." And we were blown away. And this is a person that had been in that community forever, and we didn't even think about his interest or his needs. We didn't know his interest or needs. And so that's your job, is working with these donors and knowing, are these alumni?
Absolutely, whether they're alumni or just people who've been in the community forever and seen the impact that the university has had, and often they'll give quietly, they'll give anonymously. Sometimes they want to leave their mark on the community in perpetuity through an endowment, or, you know, even if they just come out and support our sports teams, go to a performance, you know, just being part of the university's life, that makes a big difference. And they may start out by being a fan of the basketball team, and then 20 years later be a $1 million donor just because they've enjoyed what's happened here and the impact it might have had on their child. So it's a great position to be in, because, as you say, you know, they open their hearts, they give to what's important to them, and we're there to help them fulfill that dream.
One of my favorite donor stories is the story of the little family of a husband and wife and their son, and he had gone to Harvard and was a very good student, but was killed in an accident. And so his little mom and dad came to the Harvard president, who really kind of dismissed them because they were this little non-discreet couple that were sitting out in the waiting room. And they came in and said they'd like to help Harvard in some way, and he kind of dismissed them. And so they went to and built Stanford University.
Oh my goodness.
Endowed Stanford University, the whole. And so that shows that when your heart's really in it, you're going to find a way to do it, whether it's at UTPB or somewhere else. And you're saying, come to us because we've got a lot of things that
we've got so many opportunities for donors, and really it doesn't matter if it's a $25 donor up to the major donors. You know, it all accumulates and makes a big difference over time.
That's right.
And so we encourage people that are interested, you know, to let us know what we can do to help them help us, because it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but as long as they give and are interested, then we're interested.
But there's another way. Their ideas and their suggestions and their involvement in a lot of ways lead them to more ways to get involved. And so that's what we always say is just get involved in your campus.
Well, and you know, there are other ways too. You know, for instance, now with the boom that's going on here, a lot of the different engineering firms, oil companies, they need interns. So they might set up an internship program for our students and work with them directly, and we can really provide a service to them that and provide a service to our students because they really need that field, you know, experience. The other thing that we have that's growing like crazy right now is our online programs, both undergraduate and graduate. We've been named by U.S. News and World Report as one of the top undergraduate and graduate online programs in the entire country, and that's very exciting. So, you know, even if you're a young oil field worker, for instance, and driving a truck and have to sit on the field all day, you might enroll in an online course and get your MBA or an engineering degree. You know, as things go online that we are able to provide as online courses, they might do some on campus and some while they're actually working. So we want to make access to higher education, to quality education available in a number of different ways. And Dr. Watts and others have worked very, very hard to make these programs available.
And I've got a great online story to tell you. A company, a manufacturing company in Sweetwater was advertising for an engineer, and they had an engineer that they really, really wanted, but his wife was involved in a degree program. And so he said, the only way I'll do it is if there is a college close by that she can take some online courses because she's pregnant now. So she is a student at UTPB online, but they live in Sweetwater. So I think that's a great story because more and more we're college without walls, and more we are using the technology age to change the face of education.
Well, especially when you think about an area as big as what we consider West Texas, New Mexico, you know, that's a huge area. And if you're living down in Presidio, for instance, how do you get to a university class? Well, you can online. And we're also very involved in developing early college high school with the kids in South Texas, all the way up through Marfa, Balmorhea, Monahans. We've really been working with the high schools everywhere to give those early college high school opportunities available through UTPB, and that's taking off really, really well for us.
Our time is up. We'll see you in just a little while.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.